Hi guys, it's a Sunday afternoon. I think it is the 12th of April, and I thought what I would do is try and give you a bit of a catch up, or try and give you my 3 or 4 top tips, or just general 3 or 4 waffles basically. Now, just to keep us busy in our in the lockdown period, I think we're on week 3 now, and I think it's going to continue for a little bit. So as you can see, I'm in the garage. My wife's working from home at the moment, and she's using this garage as a mini office. We've got lights, we've got a desk and all sorts, so it's quite good. But yeah, just things to keep you busy, and things that can keep the mind busy as well as just the body. It's we've got to try and keep active. I go for a daily walk, but what I'm saying, we've got to try and keep this a little bit more busy, to be fair. We don't want to think too much, just keep your brain working over and over. So my first kind of thing I would say to people to do is this little thing here. This is an air blower, but what I would say to people is spend half a day or an afternoon cleaning all your gear, cleaning all your kit. I've got 2 cameras, I've got a Z7, Z6, I've got a few other ones. I've got about 3 or 4 tripods, lenses, microphones, filters. Just get all your gear out and give it a good MOT, give it a spring clean, and that will take 3 or 4 hours, even if you've only got a bit of kit. So basically clean your lenses, take your tripod apart, take all the legs apart, give them a good clean, power wash them or whatever you want to do, get rid of all the salt and sand out of them. That's a really good idea, because I've done my 3 tripods and it took me nearly all day, to be honest. But yeah, so that's one good tip. For instance, cleaning your lenses, that's one good tip, and that takes half a day, or it takes a bit of time to kind of you know, it's good as well, because I can actually see through that lens now. I didn't realise just how dirty these things were until you kind of when you're doing astrophotography, you don't kind of look at your lens, you just kind of take shots, and then when you do clean it in the light of day, it's quite grubby, to be honest. But so that's one tip. Now my second tip, you can either use this cactus, or you can use, I actually, at the moment I'm on a project in the back garden. When I say a project, I mean I'm in the garden. I've been making a Wendy house for the twins, and yes, that's taken a few days, and I've got aching on my legs. I put the base in first. I ordered 1 tonne of grit sand, and I ordered it on a 1 tonne bag. And I used to drive a HiAb for a long time, and when I ordered it in a 1 tonne bag, I presumed the guy would come along and drop it off over the fence with his crane, put it in the back garden. Now it turned up on Friday last week, I think it was, I'm not too sure what day, and it came on a pallet truck, and he said, I'll just leave it at the bottom of the drive for you. So we haven't got a wheelbarrow in this house, so I had to use a sink bowl, and I think it took me about 2 hours walking backwards and forwards, so I'll fill it up with stone backwards and forwards. So that was a base. So anyway, I've done a Wendy house. I think my last video I did a time lapse, just knocking together the bits of wood. That was quite interesting. It was quite good fun, but I'm still a bit stiff on the old legs, because I've not done any construction work or anything that sort of thing for a couple of years. But this was in the toolkit. I found it was one of my old granddad's spanners, and believe it or not, it's called King Dick. So what I did was I balanced it on the patio table I've got, and I tried to do some product photography, or just some general photography, and you know, just placing it on top of the table like that, and took a picture, and it looks quite good. I'll just post the image there. You'll be able to see it. I'm quite happy with it anyway for a 5-minute shot. But macro photography, bugs and wildlife. In the moment, we've got some hoverflies in the back garden, and with the Z7 and with a 70-200 on, you can quite easily, if you put it in manual focus to get the actual kind of range of where the bug is, and then when you kind of get it in your sights, you switch it onto manual, and you can actually track it with the focusing. It's that good, and you can get some really good shots. But at first it takes some skill, because your 70-200 will be kind of reaching, I'm not too sure what it's called, but it's kind of searching for this little bug. It can't see it. It'll find the distance, but it won't find that bug. So if you use manual focus, turn the manual, and then actually, you know, just twist it as you're shooting and looking through the eyepiece, and then quickly switch onto manual, and then it'll track it then, and you'll get some good shots. So bugs, spanners, And my third thing I would ask people to do, which I've done, which I've not done for a long time, is, I'm not too sure if you can see this now before it falls off, but books. This is a book this is called Capturing Lakeland by James Bell. Capturing Lakeland, Lake District Photography Volume 2. I bought this about 4 weeks ago, and basically the images in here are absolutely stunning, and it's signed by James, and it just gives us all a bit of inspiration of when we can go back out into the Lake District. There's a picture there of Wasswater that looks absolutely amazing. Wasswater, and there's Honister Details, Honister Stream. It's just, read books. I've never read books. I'm not a big book reader, but this is mainly pictures, so it's a little bit easier for me. I'm like a kid, to be honest. Or you can actually read this book here, which I like, which is my Astrophotographer of the Year 2018. And I don't know off by heart, but I think it was 100 and something. 100. Yeah, 100. No, it's not. 111. And that's my book there in the image. It's called Me versus the Galaxy. It was a highly commended image. And yeah, I got Pete Lawrence to sign it. And he put inspirational, and people said it looked more like an album cover. So that was quite a proud moment. But read books. So reading books, we've got the macro photography. Apart from playing with your kids and stuff, that's another thing you can do. Clean your camera lenses. I've been going for a walk at night time for exercise, but I've not been taking the camera. I've not even been taking my iPhone. I've used it as a break, and because all I seem to do every day is photography for my job, it's quite nice to not go out and you know, not try and take photos. I've been having some fun in the back garden doing some astrophotography, as you've seen. I think it's going to be quite clear tonight, so I'm going to try and do some star trails, weather permitting. So yeah, so when I go for a walk, I live in Wharton, which half a mile away down the road there is the River Ribble, which is quite nice. And it's just quite nice to go back and watch. I think I went the other night, and there was down the marsh, it's a RSPCB, is it? RSPCB, whatever it's for the birds. And they've got like loads of swans, ducks, and it's just really nice to sit down there and watch for 10 minutes and walk back, good bit of fresh air. So just not been taking the camera. So there's lots of things we can do in the house and in the back garden just to keep busy. So all I'd say to people is just keep going. I don't think it'll be too much longer, maybe another week or 2 weeks, who knows. But I just thought I'd try and get a little video out to post a little bit of positivity and just to tell people what I've been up to over the last few weeks. So yeah, so just keep on and keep going if you can, but definitely clean my camera gear. That's you know, some of the dirt I had in my camera is unbelievable. Doing my jobs. I had a job on Saturday morning on a farm, and I just cleaned it all. Just got all the dust, and it's good for the soul actually having all clean camera gear, and your tripod as well. Get all that nice and clean, and I think, like I said before, just keep the brain busy as well as your body. You've got to keep that active, and all will be good. So thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.